Okay, so this is what it looks like after the installation of my RSR super down coils. Not coilovers, just springs. You can see quite a difference from before. Here is the back. Wow, what a difference. That looks awesome. I am so happy I got the Neptune blue, so happy. And look at the stance with my new RSR springs, super down springs. That's about an 1.2 inches drop front and maybe 1.5 back. And remember, it also looks good because I have my 1 inch 25 millimeter spacers front and back. Now that's brought the wheel out right to the fender edge, so that's why it looks so good. It's the drop plus also the spacers. So if you do those two things, your car is going to look so much better than stock. All right, so the car looks good, but how does it drive with the new RSR springs? So right now I'm going to go for a little drive and give my impressions of my new RSR super down springs. All right, we're driving the 2022 GR86 with RSR super down springs. All right, so I'm on a fairly rough road here. It's my first test of the RSR super down springs, and just to compare it with my stock springs, and I gotta say it's a pretty supple ride. There's some pretty big bumps here, as you can maybe tell, and it's pretty smooth, I gotta say. It's not really banging, it's very supple indeed. So these RSR super down springs give a 1.2 inch to 1.4 inch drop, and I measured at the front is about 1.2, and I measured at the back about 1.5 inches. So it looks good, but how does it perform? So far over this bumpy road, it's been supple, and I think I know the reason why, and that's because RSR supplies springs to Lexus, Infiniti, all sorts of luxury cars. They actually sort of specialize in giving luxury cars just a small drop. And so I do not think that the spring rate on these springs is very aggressive. So I think that it's a little bit stiffer than the stock spring, but not by much. So if you're not looking for a dramatic change, then these are the springs for you. So far, I'm very happy with these springs. Okay, we're about to head into a twisty bit of section of road close to where I live, where I can test out these new RSR super down springs, and we're going around the corners pretty aggressively here. Oh yeah, around the corner. Ooh. Yes. Gonna have to slow down here for. Okay, they'll slow down there, and then we drop into it again. Yes. Whoa. Oh. Oh. Okay, and it didn't even bottom out there. That's fantastic. Wow. With the camera. That's gonna add to it. It's gonna add to it. Okay, that was excellent. This car handles better than ever. Seriously better than ever. Wow, I am totally impressed. It looks like I did the install correctly because there's no banging, the wheels haven't fallen off. It's looking pretty good. All right, that was awesome. Awesome. Okay, in my personal opinion, now the GR86 looks perfect. It's down the right amount. It's got the right stance and everything else. And let's go over what I've done and how cheap it is. So you have the RSR super down springs, $279. Incredible deal, right? You saw me install them in a previous video. This is what it looks like. It drops the car 1.2 inches in the front, 1.5 inches in the back. To me, that's perfection. Just enough drop to make the car look good, handle better, but not bottom out, not scrape. I haven't done any scraping so far. It's great. And because they're RSR springs, They're not too aggressive. They have a progressive rate, spring rate as far as I know, and so it's easy on the butt, you might say. But in addition to the RSR springs, I've also added 1-inch spacers front and back. That's brought the tires out to just about flush with the fenders, which is, I think, the best look you can have. So these are still the stock wheels and tires, 215 45 18, so these are not really wide tires, but as you can see, flush with the fender with a 1-inch spacer. That's easy to install and it makes a big difference. Okay, so on the back, again, I have my 1-inch spacer with the RSR spring, and you might notice, especially if you come around, okay, so you may notice on the camera that the rear tire has camber, negative camber. In other words, the top of the tire is inside. This is what's giving it that flush appearance. Just like the first generation Scion FRS, this next generation, when you drop it an inch, it increases the rear camber, right? So this makes the car look good, and it's not too much camber. If you drop the car 2 inches, what some guys want to do, well, you're going to have adjustable toe links. At this point, with a 1-inch or 1.5-inch drop, I don't think I need those. I have camber on the back, not too radical, just right. Okay, so on the front you can see there is some camber as well, but I added that myself with camber crash bolts, if you will. Those are bolts that have an eccentric on them, which allows you to move the hub in or out on its mounting to the McPherson strut. Anyway, that allows you to add maybe 2 degrees of camber, maybe up to 2 degrees. So this has about 1.5 degrees of negative camber, so that adds extra handling and, of course, makes the car look good. Okay, so in conclusion, RSR Super Down springs, camber bolts in the front, and 1-inch spacers all around is the combination I use. You can't do any cheaper than that to get this kind of result. So, 2 opposable thumbs up for the RSR Super Down springs. I'll have a link below where you can get those. Okay, so thanks for watching Photomikes Garage. I will see you next time. And then zoom out and look at the car.